Alright, good day everybody. This will be lesson 17 to 21. Lesson 17 to 20 is basically a build up to our lesson 21, which is the capstone. So, I'm just kind of like combining everything, and I will be going over everything. Yeah, so let's get into it. So here you can see we have our lesson 21, Confetti Cuisine. So this is almost like the final product of Confetti Cuisine, but it's not done yet, if you know what I mean. So here we have our error controller. Again, it just handles your errors. So up here on line 3, it's going to import the HTTP status codes for clarity. And then line 7 to 10 basically, it's just middleware to log errors in the console and pass it to the next error handling middleware. Our console.error, this is just going to log the full error stack trace to the console. And then the next error, this is just basically going to pass it on to the next middleware, which would be here basically. So this is going to handle our 404 errors, so resources not found. And this sets the status code, so that'd be the 404. The status, this is going to send the status codes to the client, so on the front end basically. Oh, and then over here, this page does not exist one. This is just like a response with an error message, basically. So if you were to go into your little top search bar there after having Confetti Cuisine, and then you go / let's say bear, for example, it's going to throw you the 404 error message saying this page does not exist. Then over here, the middleware is going to handle internal server errors. That's the 500 server error. So our let error code, the HTTP status internal server error, this is just going to set up the HTTP status code to 500, which is our internal server error. Then our console.log, the error occurred. This is just going to log the error stack to the console for debugging. And then our res status, this is just going to send the code to the client, again, front end. And this is just going to send out an error message to the client, so front end. Then we have home controller, pretty big one, but pretty simple. It's your basic controller, just like your error controller. We have an array of objects, so sorry. And then our exports.show courses. This is going to render the courses view with the list of available courses. So in here, when we go to courses, it shows you what there is. So this was our list of objects, and then here's our courses. Then it's going to render the home page, which is an index. So that would be, here is our home page. This is what it looks like so far. And then it's going to send the course starters to the viewer. So what I just showed you, basically, our list of objects, array, sorry, of objects. And then our middleware is to log the requested path to the console. So over here, and then next, again, it's just going to pass the control to the next middleware root or handler. Renders the subscription from contact page. I'll show you how that works soon. And then this is just like another version of the show sign up function, rendering the contact page. And this is going to handle the post request for the subscription form submitted, which will render a thank you page. Then our subscribers controller. Very long one, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. So our model.exports, that's just going to like fetch everything that is not in this file. So it's basically fetching all subscribers from the database and makes them available in the local folder. So it's gonna keep going onwards, and then when we get to local subscribers, it's gonna store subscribers in our local files. And then it's gonna next again, just gonna pass on. Let me see. This is just the normal stuff. I want to see if there's anything I can actually talk about. Okay, yeah. So our update function. So this is CRUD, right? So let's start from edit. So this is going to render the form to edit a subscriber's details. So it's just a simple edit function. And then it's going to pass subscriber details to the edit form. If there's an error, it will catch the error. Um, and it will send a message. And we have our update function, just to update the subscriber's details. Um, just some pretty basic stuff. And then we have our delete function. So it's going to delete a subscriber by ID from database. Yeah. I think there was another one, but now I can't. It was edit, uh, create. There we go. I was wondering what I was missing. My bad. So here is our fourth function. Well, CRUD function. This is just going to create a new subscriber and redirect to the subscribers list. So yeah. And then our user controller, pretty much the same thing. They all just do different things. So this controller function is for creating a new user. This is like, destructuring the data from the request body. And then it's going to create a new instance of a user model with the destructed data. So when you go to, let me show you. When you go to contact, this is create subscribers. So now you can enter your name, your email address, and then a zip code. But because this is like under American, it needs to be 5 digits long. And then you can say create subscriber. When you go to view subscribers, you'll see all subscribers made. Like I've just got a few examples down. I can edit and I can delete. You can go back to contact. Yeah, and then it's just going to save it to the database. So your new subscriber will be saved to the database. Um, on success, it's basically just going to redirect the user's index page, which is the home page. Oh no, sorry, list of all users. Sorry. And then, yeah. And then obviously we'll catch any errors and so on and so forth. Then we just have our models. This is the courses we saw. Here's our subscriber model. Again, this is just importing Mongoose to define the schema model. This is to define the schema for a subscriber, someone who signs up for updates, newsletters, etc. Name is mandatory. Email also. I don't think zip code's mandatory, but I think it is. And then automatically stores email in lowercase. So some people will type their email with like caps for the first letter, and then so it's all supposed to be lowercase. It's just stored in lowercase. And then here it's a minimum 5 digits of code, maximum 5 digits of code. So yeah, and then it's basically just going to export the model so it can be used in other files. And then the model name subscriber is based on the subscriber schema. Then we have our user. This is also importing Mongoose to define and interact with MongoDB models. So here's our Mongoose, and then it's going to require Mongoose. Our schema is require. So this is the structure schema for convenience, and then subscriber equals require. This is going to import the subscriber model, and then here we're just going to define the structure of the schema for a user document. And we have a string here that removes extra spaces before and after the name. Another string. Then we have an email string. So this is just to provide the email. No two users can have the same email. That obviously causes an error. Then our zip code validates lower limit, validates upper limits. And then our password, which is mandatory, obviously. And then the courses, which is just reference to course documents by their ID. And then, yeah, pretty much the same stuff. Over here, we have a virtual property to get the user's full name. And then for line 56 and 57, we have a middleware that runs before saving a user. and checks if the user has a linked subscriber account. Only run if there is no subscribed account already linked. So hence the if statement. And it's going to try to find a subscriber with the same email just in case there's an error to catch or whatever. And yeah, that's basically that. EJS is the same. I don't think there's really anything important for me to show you, except like obviously stuff we had to add. But that's pretty much just HTML with JavaScript, so it's okay. Main.js, the most important one. I just want to make sure this is actually recording. Is this record? Yeah, okay. So our main.js, again, we're going to import all the required modules. We're going to connect to our Mongo Compass, so MongoDB. Okay, so we have an app.set, so this is just app configuration. Again, we can change the port if we want to, but we're going to leave it on 3000. We have our middleware set up here, so our app.use. The static is just to serve static files from the public folder, which is, I saw it somewhere there. So it's folders that don't actually move really. And then our layouts, that's just going to use EJS layouts. Our express, your len coded. This is a pass from submission. JSON is just going to pass JSON requests. Method overdrive is just support put delete, via query param. And then we're going to log every request URL to the console, so it's like a debugging helper basically. Then we have our roots, our home root. So the way I can reverse this is in Python with the URLs basically. But these are roots for JavaScript. So obviously we have our app.get home controller. That would all be here. So doing this is just to like indicate that it's in a folder. Go get this file. That's basically what it's doing. So all of this is just fetching home roots and then subscriber CRUD roots, our user roots. So these are all basically just URLs in a way, but the roots. Yeah. So let me show you. So homepage, courses, contact. Let's make a new subscriber. Let's call them, I don't know, Bobby. I guess we've got a Bob. Let's have a Bobby. So we'll go, not Bobby at gmail.com. And we'll just give them that same zip code. Now we're going to create subscriber. And it's going to say, thank you for submitting. Go to home. We can go back to contact, view all subscribers. And here is our new one. So we can edit him. Let's say maybe we spelled his name wrong, for example. He spelled his own name wrong. Now it's Bobby. We can go back to view all subscribers. Or we can just delete him. Yes. And now Bobby is gone. Anyway, that was lessons 17 to 21. Thank you.